Hi guys, it's Andy here with eagerlygrowing.com. Today I wanted to do a quick video to give you guys a couple different questions that you can ask yourself when you're facing a fear, when you're trying to overcome a fear that you have, a challenge that you're facing towards a goal that you want. Maybe you want to change a career, or you want to look for a new job, or you want to ask a cute person out on a date. Whatever it is, maybe even take an adventure that you've always dreamt of taking, but there's a lot of fear around that. So hopefully these three questions can help you a little bit face that fear and take some small steps towards making that goal happen. So the first question is, what's the worst case scenario? So what's the worst that could happen? When you look at the worst case scenario, for example, asking someone out on a date, if they say no, I mean, you're still okay. You can still ask more people, and hopefully you still keep maybe you'll have a friend still. You can just be friends. What's the worst case scenario? And oftentimes that worst case scenario will be not nearly as bad as what you actually think it would be without taking some time to process it. And once you're comfortable with the worst case scenario, then it's quite easy to, or it becomes easier to take action. So for me, when I was doing this, starting the Facebook page, it was foreign for me to put videos out. So it was a challenge for me. It's not something I was used to doing. And to me, the worst case scenario was, I'd be laughed at, or it wouldn't go well, or whatever. It's just a whole bunch of different thoughts. And but once you face that and you're like, okay, well, it's not the end of the world. I'll still be okay whether it is the worst case or not. Then it's a lot easier to take action. So the next question would be, what's the best case scenario? What's the best thing that can happen if I take action? So if you ask that cute girl out, or a guy, and they say yes, it's like, wow, okay, so you have a cool person that you can spend more and more time with and get to know more. It's this is the best case. It allows you to dream a little bit. And if I had to put my videos out there, in the best case scenario for me would have been, people liking it and sharing it, and hopefully it helping somebody improve their life and actually making a real difference. So it allows you to dream a little bit and give you some momentum to actually take action. And the third question is, what if I do nothing? What will happen if I do nothing? And this sort of shows that, you really want to take some action. You want to do something. This is a goal of yours that you want to achieve. If you do nothing, if you don't ask that girl out, you'll never know. Maybe she wanted to date you for a long time, or that guy. And if you don't take action and ask, then you'll never know. So if those three questions: what's the worst case scenario, what's the best case scenario, and what happens if I do nothing? Those three questions can help you put your challenge, your fear, into some perspective, and get you some clarity as to what it is that you can do going forward, and knowing that if I don't do anything, then I'm not going to actually achieve my goals. So quite often, we regret the things that we don't do. We very rarely regret the things that we do. Do something today that will make your future self proud. We often know exactly what it is that we should do, what we want to do, what we really, really want to do, but there's a lot of fears around that. So hopefully, taking some time to process this. I would definitely recommend journaling, sitting down with a journal and writing out your thoughts around it. And if not, just go for a walk. Maybe you go for a walk in a park or nature or wherever, and just think about these things and contemplate them as you go through your day. And as you think about your best case scenario, your worst case scenario, and if you do nothing, then I think that will give you some good insight as to, okay, I really, if I'm okay to face the worst case scenario, and I would absolutely love to have the best case scenario, I know I'm not okay to do nothing. So I'm going to take one small step. It doesn't have to be a big one. It just can be a small step. And a whole bunch of small steps will lead you to taking some bigger steps down the road when you're ready. So the key is just getting that little bit of momentum. And once you get that, you're actually going to notice that, wow, I did this little accomplishment and I felt good. It didn't turn out nearly as bad, because the best and worst case scenario very rarely happen anyway. It's always somewhere in the middle, and it's usually nothing to be afraid of. And even if something unlikely happens or bad happens, you still grow from it. You learn from it. You take some lessons from it. So the best case scenario, the worst case scenario, and what happens if I do nothing. Ask those three questions. Hopefully they'll help you overcome your fear and take some small steps to achieve your goal. So I hope this was useful. You can hear the rooster in the background. background. I hope this was useful, and thanks for your time. And until we chat, think positively, feel worthy, and act eagerly.